Okay, so this is probably one of the better opportunities that I've been presented with here to do a video like this. And not often do I have a car that's ready to be buffed sitting beside a car that the body work's still being done on, but I was able to work this out, and I got to thinking this is a good time to do a video. And what I kind of wanted to show you is some of the steps, you know, to get to this point. I just finished color sanding this with 3000 grit. I say color sanding, wet sanding the clear coat. It's a SPI black base with an Orion Stargazer clear. And then I got the 67 Camaro sitting here, and you know, 80–90% of the body work's done. Panel fitment has taken place. Put a left side quarter in this thing. Trunk drop off and a wheel lip. But to get to that stage over there, you have to, this is kind of like the middle of the road. It can be kind of heading down the hill, and then sometimes after you do this first round of blocking, I use 220 on the first round, you come up with more questions than answers. So on this particular car, we're kind of on the downward hill. We got some low spots here. And I can't say enough good things about this Orion high build primer. This is the black high build. You don't even have to use guide coat. It shows every low spot. It gets dull, kind of turns gray, and it's more of a black. Of course, this is the Orion epoxy underneath. But you can see, you know, you've got some low spots here. This I can actually feel with my hand. These are like little door ding type things. And then we walk over here to my 59 Impala hood. I need to do some more videos on this car, but this car is going to get a total repaint. All the issues are going to be fixed. You can see that in some of my other videos. As I just stopped on the customer cars for the day, and I jumped on my hood here. It's kind of the way I have to do it. I'm going to work in one panel at a time, and I'm going to bring the car over here, all taken apart. But this hood had a low spot here. It had some rust up here that had to be taken care of. So this hood has a patch panel in it here. This is again is the gray version of the Orion clear. I did use some guide coat on this because it's gray, and a lot of this don't show up the lower spots as well as the black. So I highly recommend the black. But what you want to see, you know, when you're blocking, you want to see all that guide coat or that, you know, that dark disappear. And then, you know, you'll come up with a high spot. Like this here would technically be a high spot, but you know, it feels good. Again, another thing, this is going to be my car. It's white. It doesn't have to be absolutely 100% perfect. This is my personal car, again, so I'm not going to spend lavish amounts of time getting it perfect. It's a driver. I want it to stay a driver, but it is going to be a lot better car when I get it done. Now, there is no such thing as me cutting corners on your car. When I do this work for y'all out there, whoever y'all are in the future that's watching this video, because I've gotten work off of here on YouTube, there is no room for corner cutting in my shop. Because my goal, unless we're doing a satin paint job, which I do those occasionally, and you know, it still needs to be decent body work. It just don't have to be blocked 3 or 4 times. This is what you want to see when you finish. This is a black car, and even here with the haze on it with a 3000 grit, you see how the process works to get to and achieve this finish and this straightness and this perfection. Now, I'm no stranger to doing black cars. I've already did several in the past. I'm no stranger to dark colors. I cut my teeth on dark colors. So I actually kind of worry about painting a car that's a lighter color because I'm afraid, you know, that I'm going to not see something. Dark colors show it all. It separates the men from the boys. And most dark colors I find issues with. Now this car here is going to be better in quality than my personal car that I did, that Super Sport with a red interior. This is also Super Sport. Triple black, 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 black. So anyway, this car actually was the first car I put a roof on 10 years ago when I actually owned it. The fellow that owned it brought it back to me to finish. But there's a lot of other videos here on my channel about this car. But what I wanted to show you mainly in this video was kind of, you know, the process that takes place. You know, you've got, you know, first you strip, then you epoxy, then you do the body work, then you usually, a lot of times I'll epoxy again. A lot of this, with this good Orion 2K, it's a direct to metal, direct to rust formula. I'm able to skip that step of re-epoxying over the filler. So of course there's nothing wrong with still doing that step, but it does save a step because this is a direct to metal formula here. But it still has all the capabilities. So like when you're spraying this stuff, you don't have to cover this with epoxy. Of course we'll get the rust off there. This is where it flash rusted from wet sanding. And there again, you know, some people don't wet sand, they dry sand. I prefer to wet sand. You know, when I get to the point I can wet sand, especially in this summertime, I can put my swimming trunks on and come out here and kind of cool off a little bit in this heat. But you know, this is the real world here. You know, this is the first round, and then we're gonna go back, fix all these low spots, put 2 to 3 more medium coats of high build, and then this area of the car should be close to being ready to paint. Now, I still got to hang the doors back on. I've got to fit the fenders to the doors. That's going to be a nightmare because I already see even those AMD fenders is going to have some issues. But this is real world stuff here. You go from, you know, this to this, and there's about probably 60 to 80 hours left from when you get to this over the entire car, because this car still has to have some panel fitment done. Good 60 hours, 40 to 60 hours once you get the car to this point to get it to this, because you always run into something else you want to make better. This car here, I smoothed over the lines so there's no transition here. It goes from one, don't step up or step down. So this is what, you know, this is where it's at. If you want to do this type of work, or you want to have this type of work done, this is the type of stuff you need to be seeing. You know, you need to ask questions to these people. What are they telling you? Are they filling your head full of hot air? I heard somebody the other day talking, and they was talking about someone locally, and they said that they was the only person they trusted to do work because they did good work and they were cheap. And I guess that's okay if that 59 quality of work is what you're looking for, because basically what they did, they had pits here, not this particular shop, but this was in Colorado. They had pits here in the metal. They just bondoed over it, and car's been painted for quite some time. You know, it's been inside dry, so it had one little dimple here that gave it away. And I grinded into it, and then I cut this out, and there's nothing but rust falling out of this hood. And half the structure behind there was bad too, so I just got rid of that. So, you know, that's the type of stuff that people do. I just can't do that. Again, this is the type of stuff you're gonna see when you're here. I don't claim to be perfect, but you know, I've been around. I look at a lot of cars. I look at $150,000, $200,000 cars. I judge my work off $150,000, $200,000 cars, and it's comparable to what I'm doing here, and that's what makes me happy. So with that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. If you are interested in having any of this work done, you can feel free to reach out to me, yes. But as always, I take it when someone's ready, and I'm ready, they're not, I go to the next person. So sometimes people might think they're gonna wait a year to get with me, and they end up getting in 3 or 4 months. I've had people thought they was gonna get in 3 or 4 months, and they waited 2 years. So it is what it is, but I do my best, and that's all we can ask for. So we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.